Well, good afternoon, my YouTube friends. Well, actually, it's nearly going up for evening now, and I'm in the naughty corner. This is the corner just behind the door, and this gives you the view of the room. And for 2 days, I've worked solid. I'm exhausted. I'm going to have an IPA in a minute. So you might think, well, what have you done? Well, for a start, the shelf in front of you, in front of the window, these two either side here, the little blue shelf and that shelf have all been removed from the room, all the orchids removed, all the skirting boards wiped down, the windowsills wiped down, and the carpet hoovered. And it took me just a few seconds because I couldn't remember how to switch the hoover on. It's been that long since I do the hoovering. He waits for me, you know, Keith does. And then when I don't show any inclination, he thinks, oh well, I may as well get the hoovering done as well now. Right, so what have I been doing? Besides cleaning and tidying, as I always do. And I've moved the top oscillating fan up there. Well, it's not an oscillating one, but it's a top fan up there. And I can actually get to that now, switch it on and off. But I'll start in this corner first. Right. Can you see? I mean, you know, we're in the light now, I know. But what I've decided, you see these iron baskets here. Well, we had these in the garden. We had them on one of the frames. And they were stood last year with nothing happening to them. And that's where they were going to stay. Anyway, yesterday, was it the night before, I suddenly had this brainwave. I don't get them very often. And I thought to myself, oh, now I could actually utilise them and put orchids in them. But, of course, they're open. They're all this. So I thought, oh God, how am I going to stop all the bark falling out? And I've done them all differently, and every one at the bottom has got this horticultural wicking material. Right, let me just... this is that Cattleya persivaliana winter. This was, I'd got this in a tight pot, in one of the little square ones. I don't want to disturb it, but we have, I think the other side of that, we have a new growth. And we've got new roots starting, but the other roots are just dried. It must have aborted the roots. And so that's the first one. Oops. Let's go up a level. Right. The second one I decided to put in here, and of course I had to get Keith to drill the walls. And oh dear, hold on, let me turn this humidifier off. Whew, getting swamped here. There's it. Ooh. Right, this is the big Cattleya Haesong Tiamu, and I've got a new growth coming there, and there's another new growth the other side. And this one, I've got layers of sphagnum moss and large bark. And then where the roots are at the top, I've got another layer of sphagnum moss. And I had to decide which candidates were going to go into these open containers. So they had to be, as I thought at first, Cattleyas. And see, now they're in this, and okay, so some of the bark might come out when I water it, but they lift off. Every one of these lifts off. I mean, they're solid. They won't move. That one's resting on the windowsill. But they lift off the wall, because that's what I said to Keith. I've got to have something that lifts off the wall, because I want to water them. So, we've moved Laelia purpurata here. And I think that's going to be all right there. I mean, this is my first draft. I mean, there's nothing set in stone here, because you know what I'm like. But I've got a part of a top shelf empty, and I've still got that bottom one empty. So that means more orchids. Anyway, here we go. This is the Jarac Procatavolia Jarac Green Star, and I've never had one of them before. Don't know what that is. This is in semi-waterculture, and of course that's Little Axel, and behind Little Axel is the cuttings. I've left them in that glass vase, but they're in a little tiny pot, and that's the Dendrobium Goldsmithianum. And this is Dendrobium Chrysotoxum. So this one's had to come out here. And let's just go up. Oh, we've put the Orchids falcata there, just above the humidifier, so that'll love that. That's that Phalaenopsis with a dying leaf, but I'm trying to encourage that with roots. This is the Miltassia Royal Robe, and just behind it is the Dendrobium, come here, something Runkamel. And this is the other big one, the Alicera, and that's the M.E.s Sunlight. And that actually hangs on this back shelf here, but the little container's downstairs. And I've put the little Vanda Cerulescens, I've just hung it from there. And that's the, of course, the Maxillaria. And so what have I done here? I've got, see, I've got space on this shelf here. I've just put the Phalaenopsis here. They're all coming into growth mode, and you'll see them at the back. And I thought, oh well, I can always put something on these shelves. And here's another one. Now this doesn't look good, does it? But I moved it. It was tucked up there, and I decided it wasn't right. It wasn't hanging forward enough. And so it has got 2 or 3 roots now. So that will come on. I've no fear about that one. And this is another no ID, the one that was a keiki, and the mother had crown rot. Oh, and up there, can you just see in that corner, is the Sergio Ario Yucasuco story, and I found that in the garden, and I thought, oh, I've not used that for ages, so I brought that in. And I've put the now that might be in too much light there, which is the Dendrobium. Oh, look at that. And you see there? Oh, I wonder if that's a flower. But I've got to be careful with that one because it doesn't like too much light. And actual fact, in the morning this gets the east light. So I'm going to have to be careful. Just let me move my little dish back there. And so I've utilised this area now. I've put the humidifier there, and I've brought all the Phalaenopsis here, because in the morning these all get the early eastern sun. There we go, and then there we go, you see. And so here we are, oops, on the front. I've managed to water a couple of these today, but these are all going to have to go into this one won't. This definitely will, because I've not watered that today yet. And I don't know whether you'll see down there. And I don't know whether it's another root trying to emerge. I think it's another root. Can you see? I thought at first it might be a flower, but I don't think so. And so there's that Phalaenopsis here. I've just brought the Rinco Stylish Gigantica Peach here. It depends whether we get too much sun, is whether I move it. And that's why I brought this Phalaenopsis here. Just hung it there because with it being in bloom, it'd be my luck if I go and knock it. So if I just move my step along, and then, whew, tell you. So this is the Goldsmithianum, and that thing there, I think that's another keiki. but I've got something coming under there as well. There. So I don't know what that is. Right, so this side. There we go. This is the RLC Yen 24. Oops, and there we go. By Cattleya M.E.s Robert Street. And this has got some lovely roots. And you see down there. And a new growth. Just bobbing through. So that's sat here now. And here, I thought, what am I going to do with this one? I could have put a Cattleya in it. But then I decided that I'd put the Vanda curvifolia here. I mean, I can chop and change them around. There's no problem about that. It's just this one then, oops, getting caught on this Vanda, will get highlight. It'll get the afternoon light. See, that's what I've put in them more. And this is in more of an open basket, although I did put another basket inside it, but I don't know whether or not any of that bark will fall out. More than likely it will. I'm going to have to move this little step a little bit closer, because otherwise I'm going to break my neck. Okay. Woo! Stop it. That's it. Right. The Maxillaria. Memoria benbellina. I've put it there. And I can actually just lift that off quite easily because that big 2-foot branch just fits behind there. Look at that, 60% humidity. It was 80% not long ago. And there's the Vanda falcata. These were all watered yesterday, so these are doing fine, but these over here, they will have to be watered tonight because they weren't watered last night because I was doing the DIY, which is that one. There we go. And I think what started me off more than anything was I wanted to have that Hoya, which is the Hoya canosa tricolour, and I wanted it so it would still get the light to make those leaves pink. And you'll see here above this top shelf, and the light cascades over to here. This is the full spectrum light, so this will actually aid this Hoya in keeping those pink leaves. And this is the other Sergioara Yukasuku story, doing very nice. That's the other Alicera. And oh, this is the big Hoya pubicalyx black dragon. I decided just to move that over. And the other two. Oh no, I've got 4, haven't I? I've just moved this one. Right, so that shelf remains the same. Like I say, they'll all have to be watered. This is the Epicattleya Alatilio Santa Maria, and that's got a nice growth coming there. Can you see that nice growth there? So this is this shelf where the frags are, and we've got a leaf dying back over there on that one, but this one's doing fine. And that's the Laelia labiata, Cattleya labiata. That's the one I'm trying to see if it'll grow, but it's got 2 desiccated leaves now. And this is the other one. That's Dusky Maid. That got watered yesterday. This is the other one I thought of mounting. And this is the other RLC Yen 24 carrot. But then I thought, well, it is only small, so I've left that one. I've left that one there, and this one, oh, that needs That's the Ring Catleanthe, Fushu Glory Happy Holiday. And there we go on that bottom shelf. And that's the other Dendrobium chrysotoxum, and that's got a new growth and got another growth which is already well on the way. Okay, and the Angraecum sesquipedale, giving me another new leaf. That's got to be watered. That's the Holcoglossum subdiflorum. Oops, everything's desperate for water now, because of course we've had another very warm day, although tomorrow I believe we're getting the first substantial rain that we're going to have for 3 weeks. And I was really running desperate with the rainwater, because of course that's what I usually water all the orchids with, rainwater. And I had to keep, this last week I've had to keep the rainwater. Look at that. That's fertiliser. I've had to keep the rainwater specifically for the frags, because I can't run out of the rainwater. And we go back over here, and there we go. Frags on that side. Frags on this side. Is that going to be a flower, or is it going to be a keiki? Who knows? But it's got roots coming, that's all that matters. And there we go. Let's take you around this corner. This is the labata, Cattleya labata, giving me a nice root there. And this is Cattleya labiata, and that's giving me a new growth there. So there we go. And I'll show you some of these others another day, because I need to bring the step over again. And there's that little phalaenopsis. So look how those roots are extended. Thrilled to bits with that one. Absolutely thrilled to bits. And my species on a stick, that's there we go, Phalaenopsis finleyi, and that's there. Is it going to show you? Is it going to show you? Let me show you. That is definitely a flower spike. So there's that root, you see, but that's definitely that little thing there, which you probably won't focus there. That is a flower spike. It's definitely not a root. So I'm absolutely thrilled to bits with that one. Absolutely thrilled to bits. So I think I've done it all now. I've still got the bottom shelf here, empty. Cleaning material down there. I'm going to wipe my trays. Those are the outer pots for the Phalaenopsis. These are some of the other ones. And this is the Dendrobium Gatton Sunray. And I've secured that one slightly up there. This is the other Curvifolia. And I decided to take the grow stones out. There's a few at the bottom, and look, it's giving me. Oh, come on, which way do I do it? It's giving me roots. Anyway, you're probably best seeing them that way. Goodness gracious! If there's a hard way to show something now, I'll do it the difficult way. And there's the other one. That's Vanda. This is Vanda Peaches. And look at that root there. And I have to be careful now. Let's put it up here, because this has been watered. And that root's come out there now. And look what's in there. I don't know. I think it's another root. I don't think you're going to just in there. I don't think it's a flower inflorescence. I think it's another root, but never mind. You know, we can't all get flowers. So that's it now. This top shelf is half of it's empty now. Oh dear, I don't know what that means. Oh dear. It might be that I'm a bit cramped over here, but I don't think so. It'll be fine. I try and bring everything, if I can, over to this area, because of course this faces south and it gives maximum light to the orchids. I was going to ask Todd. Now will it let me get down in there? May I have a look? I was going to ask Todd whether he thought that was a flower inflorescence. I mean, the roots you can see are coming from the pseudobulb, because that's a new pseudobulb. But then I thought, I wonder if that's going to bloom for me. I hope it does. I mean, I'd be thrilled to bits if it does. And I think everything else is fine up here. This is the Laelia rubescens, and those roots travelling round. There, see? And there's that growth, that new growth. So we're doing fine with that one. And this is the Cattleya walkeriana. Can you see where that little green root's now coming to life there? And I've got two. I think they are growths on here, but I'm not too sure. And everything else is tickety-boo. So that's it, folks. I just wanted to show you what I've done. So we've got a nice, clean, tidy grow room again, all changed round. And if I walk back here, I think it's all about being organised more than anything. See, once I've moved these two, I've got this shelf here. It's going to have nothing on. Well, we can soon fix that, I'm sure. I have to speak nicely to Keith. It's a lovely bud. Bloom, I mean. So, from me to you, take care. Bye-bye now.